live. Wednesday night with those guys, and Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by those guys. What's going on, everyone? What's going on? It is Wednesday, and it is Wednesday night with those guys. The middle of the week, hump day.
Yes.
And how is everyone's Wednesday going? I know the weather is beautiful. People are probably on their way home from work. And I hope everybody's been able to get out and enjoy this weather that we've been having. I mean, it's been a little windy a couple of days here and there, but we've been having some pretty good weather. Been able to get out and fly. For those of you who can get out and fly, I hope you've been able to get out and enjoy your drones.
Legend Big says he's lurking while flying now.
Okay. See, it's good weather out there, and guys can get out and fly.
What's up, Paulie, Dustin, Legend Big, Esther, Steve? Jody was here earlier, and yeah, he stopped in and said what's up real quick. I saw her. I'm going back through the chat there. Okay. John Olson says he's sitting in a Walmart parking lot waiting for his daughter.
Okay. All
earlier.
right.
Andy Cortez, what's up?
Andy, what's going on?
You know what? We gotta
Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much, man.
We gotta find a way to take some time and get Andy on here just one time. Northside Hawk, what's good?
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be funny. We gotta make sure we're drinking though. That'll be a recordable one.
That would be nice.
So they can play it back 10 years later and say I threatened somebody else, right?
Okay, Lawrence is not going to punch anyone in the face tonight. No, but that I would like to have one. That would be fun. That would.
Always lurking and cooking dinner as always.
Okay.
Yeah. Andy Cortez, we're gonna hit you up on Facebook, man, and we're gonna do something random. We're gonna try in the near future. Give it a week or two because we're like busy right now. Give it about a week or two, definitely. Anyway, what's up with you? What's going on with you, man?
Well, you just told everybody that we're busy. No, I've been busy. I've been talking to a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people now. I talk to a lot. And I'm still trying to get used to this whole email thing. When people say I talk to a lot of people, a lot of times it's not actual speaking to these people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm not big on inter-office emails because by the time you send an email to 3 people and it was only addressed to me last week, I still get those alerts and it's crazy. Ray Kelly, what's good?
Well,
thank you much, Wedgin Big. Wedgin Big says he notices I've been losing a little weight. I told him I'm working on it. It's hard. It's not easy. I still got the belly though because I drink beer, but I'm working on it.
It's called stress.
What is it called? Stress? Well, that may have a little to do with it, but I have less stress these days than I.
Sometimes stress makes you whole weight, and sometimes it'll stop you from eating.
Oh well, I'm eating. I'm eating. I'm just watching. What the hell? Yeah. Wedgin Big says he's on the mobile lurking and flying. Hope you all had great flights too. As you know, we did not have a meetup this Sunday because people had other obligations. We were supposed to have the meetup. I remember Ray Kelly and them saying on the 27th, which was Saturday. And I double booked myself, and that's how that weekend got screwed up. And I said Sunday, when in reality, Sunday I was supposed to go to the other appointment. And Saturday we were supposed to fly. So now I have to put stuff in my calendar like a month ahead of time, dude. So I don't overschedule myself. Hey, it's a good thing to overschedule yourself, don't you think? That means I'm busy, right? What's with the Bill Cosby?
It all depends. I mean, I don't know. You could tell you something like right now, and in 10 minutes, you remember.
My short-term memory sucks, but I can remember shit back years ago.
So what you're saying is that if I need to tell you something about next week, I should tell you 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. 2 weeks ago. You gotta give me a 2 week warning. But I hope everyone's doing well. The weather's great on the East Coast, at least the Northeast Coast.
How
From
good is
about Delaware on up, the weather's been really nice.
how good is it? Because I know we're getting a lot of smoke in our skies.
Yes,
You
yes, yes.
notice it's looking a little hazy
I wish I could show the view here. It is
because
hazy,
that
but the
footage,
fires.
right? Because that footage from over at Bridge Park, you can
Yeah,
see it in the skies, the haze.
yes.
You see it.
Yeah, well, I noticed it this morning when I got up at about 4 something. It's just starting to get light. The sunrise is like 5 something now. And there was this giant ominous darkness, but it's up high. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, right now in Nova Scotia, they're having really bad fires over there. And for some reason, the wind that usually spins clockwise,
Mhm.
for some reason, was spinning counterclockwise, which brought the smoke and haze all the way down the East Coast, past Rhode Island and everything as far down as New York. So we have hazy skies now. And it's affecting the air quality as well.
Maybe they installed the toilet bowl wrong.
That's kind of hard to do. The water only spins one way on this part of the hemisphere. Philip, how are you, man? Hope all is well. Got to fly in a breeze during lunch today. Haven't
Oh,
flown in about 6 weeks. I felt good.
in a
Dude, get out
breeze.
there and fly. Please get out there and fly. If you get a chance to fly, everyone, get out. Sun up here is 4:30 a.m. and setting is at 10 p.m. here in the
Okay.
UK.
Whoa.
Strange
Okay.
hours, right? But they're right. They're on a different
They got
longitude
a
and
lot of.
latitude.
They got how I mean, how much difference? I mean,
Not much.
it's just that it really doesn't really matter when it comes to that. I was checking out something with that, why, they were talking about why even along the same plane on the globe, why two countries, two cities will have totally different weather.
It goes the other way, Dustin. From central and from Panama up, the water spins counterclockwise in the toilet bowl, and
You
down
can't prove
under the
that.
equator, where hey Lance, where Dominic is,
You can't
Northside Hawk in Australia, and it spins clockwise.
you can't
Can you
prove
imagine? Can you imagine? That would bug me out. I just go in the bathroom and just flush the toilet, watching it spin in the other direction. That'd be one of the things I'd go do in down
really.
in Australia. No, I'm
How
just
does
playing.
that work? Wouldn't the
Honey
water come
drone
up?
flyer, what's up? How does that work?
I said, how does that work? Wouldn't the water come up?
You stupid. Art is fun. How are you? Long time no see. Hope the garden's going well. Everyone, Jody, welcome back.
Art is fun. Oh, art is fun.
That's an
Yes,
herb.
that is the channel. I check out her posts when she posts streams on her videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I've been doing
I
a
check.
lot of lurking lately in a few live streams. After I've been while I eat dinner, I'll actually
Mhm.
sit and watch a few live streams now, and every now and then I'll randomly put an arrow like this and put lurking. But it's interesting.
That's what that means.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you put the arrow pointing towards yourself, it's like, yeah, lurking. At least I'm telling you I'm doing it.
Okay.
Drone TV, how are you? Going back to the Ukraine to help with drone defense.
Okay.
Safe travels, drone
Yes,
TV.
please. Yeah. Be safe, man.
Um,
You know what, Lawrence? I wanted to tell everyone, but I believe today, what's right? I don't know if they're gonna extend it or not, but today was supposed to be the last day to take advantage of the spring into summer sale.
yes,
If you're
yes,
looking to grab that old reliable Air 2S, you know, they got a great price on it right now.
Yeah, this is true.
It's
What
still
is it, eight
on,
and change?
yeah, it's still on DJI's website. So
Really? Let me pull
yeah,
up the site and see. Well, let's hold on. DJI Technologies official site. Give me a second. I'll
yeah, yeah.
share. I'll share in a second. There we go. There we go. Open up that window and boom,
What you
we are
got? What you
sharing.
got?
So you're saying the Air 2S is still, they still have, it's still on sale. Today's the last day, isn't it?
That's what I said.
That's messed up.
How's that messed up? Look how long it was running for.
Some guys missed a good deal. I'm looking to see where the advertisement for it is, but
All you gotta do is click on it. Go to
let's
the
see.
store.
Let's go back up here. Hold on. Click here. Hello. There we go.
What are you trying to do?
Huh?
What are you trying to do?
Camera drones. Let's see. Mavic 3. Um,
Right here on the side, right here.
on the left,
DJI Air. What are you looking for?
Air 2S. Here it is. Here we go. Air 2S. Yes, still 849.
Yeah, see?
849. Regularly $1,000. I wow. I've had two Air 2S's. One of them I sold, and one of them I still have, and I paid full price. I think I got mine about
Dang.
a month. No, about 3 weeks to a
Well,
month
that's all
after.
right.
Huh?
That's all right. I paid full price. It's okay. The drone's a good drone.
Yeah, I still use
Good,
it.
bro, with it. But you know what the problem with the Air 2S is?
Doesn't have night vision.
The Air 2S is. That's just not two S's. It sounded kind of strange.
I know.
The problem with it is that when you gotta, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not a good drone, but when you going to grab that one drone and you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna grab the one that's got the best camera.
Right.
But then when you say, okay, well, I need something small and tiny to get in and get it done, but I don't need nothing too aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Hey,
grab
Steve.
do you grab that or do you grab the mini 3 Pro?
Hey, Steven, flyby guys.
Steven,
Yeah, well,
who
you
is
know what?
actually
You're right.
here?
You're right about that because if I want to go somewhere and be not be discreet but not disturb anyone in the area, the Air 2S is where to go. Because when I take out the Mavic 3 Classic, people are like, ooh, ah.
Yeah, it's the same thing, no matter what you're flying.
But once you're in the air, then
Although,
nobody can hear you anyway.
but
But
see, here's the thing. I trust the Mavic 3 better in situations than I would with the Mini 3 Pro. I'm not saying that she can't do it. Like I said, when I was down in Miami, when I sent it out there,
right,
but and I've done it here too. I just feel more secure with the Mavic 3 up there or the Air 2S. And when it comes to those two, the Air 2S loses to the Mavic 3.
yeah,
On a day out having fun with the drones and out doing a thing, I mean, yeah, I'll fly it for fun. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's a great drone. But for when I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm looking for the
yeah.
best camera that I can get.
Well, Big has a valid point. He says came to realize how great the obstacle avoidance is on the Mavic 3. But I want to tell you, it's
Of
almost
course.
too good. And I will explain why. Because I was actually flying in between some buildings. You saw the pictures of Jamaica Railroad, right? Well, you have
Right.
to fly between buildings because the station and the tracks are between the buildings. And as I wanted to get a shot along one track along the side of the building protrudes out a little bit. And as I was going straight, before I even thought about trying to adjust to go around the building, the drone went right around it smoothly and everything. My only problem was I was trying to do a straight line and it would not do a straight line because of the obstacle avoidance, which was good. Yeah, drone TV. I come. I
What's
agree
up,
with you,
John? Is
Legend, big on that. I do agree with you on that,
you know
definitely.
what? Well, talking about the obstacle avoidance on it, um, I didn't I didn't have a problem. You see the building those two buildings. Well, they're actually across the water from where you're sitting
Mm-hmm.
in front of you. Well, off to
Back
your
this way. Back
yes.
this way. Yeah. Yeah.
The two buildings that if you on a certain angle it looks like it's one building, but it's actually two buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I went in between there with the drone didn't have a problem with the obstacle avoidance going in between those two buildings,
Right.
where they actually looked, no, it looked like they're almost like overhanging, but the drone slid straight in there, no problem.
And obstacle avoidance didn't feel a threat to kick in or anything, I'm guessing.
No,
Hey Warren, what's
no.
good, man?
Now, when we were at the park and we were playing around with it, I showed you how the A pass works with the obstacle
Mm-hmm.
avoidance, and I tried to fly it into us.
Yeah.
And it came at us and it flew up and around us. And
Yeah.
it chooses depending on how far to the left or how far to the right of the object that's in front of it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It would not. Hey, visual line of sight was good. It would not seriously run. It it wasn't having it. It said, I don't know what your intentions are, but I'm not going that way. I'm going around, which is exactly what it did. You are right. Steven, the flyby guys, where are you in the world today? It's like, where's Waldo? Every time I speak to him, I should have a map up and just pin where he is. That would be interesting, right? I see where in the world is Steven, the flyby guys. Are they putting on another drone light show or what? Anyway,
Well,
happy. Yeah,
Steven's gonna go, you know. You know
yeah,
what,
I
Johnny?
know.
It that's how could I say it? It's work. It's a work tool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. He says sell the old Mavic 3. It's
I'm
old.
I'm actually thinking about getting another one.
We're making money with our Mavic with the Mavic 3. Right? Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting another one because
Never get rid of
it's good
never
enough
get
for what
rid
I'm doing.
never get rid of something that's making you money.
I
At
mean,
least that's how I was told.
just in case.
Andy Cortez just said he just sent you an email, so that'll be good. So we can keep in touch. What's good, the
Okay,
View Chaser? How are you, man? Hope all is well.
I'll get it. I'll check it. I'll check it. But yeah, Lawrence. So from what I'm understanding here, I heard that well, we spoke about it last week, right?
Uh-huh.
When
Ryan.
Brian was with us, and
Yes.
when he called it aircraft, well, AirMap is no more. It's going bye bye. You know, they say that they wanna move on to stuff like what autonomy and beyond visual line of sight. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
flight
Yeah.
at
Focus
scale.
on.
So they made the decision to shut down air maps as of what's that? Was it June
June 22nd.
22nd of this year? So no more Lance authorization from them. But if you have any prior, if you've already scheduled and you have one that's pending or has been accepted, then
Mm-hmm.
you should have no problem with your authorization.
Right.
But if you do it after that date, then you're gonna have to deal with their team, with their online team, because I guess you're gonna have a problem
Hey,
because
Gary.
they're actually shutting it down. They're not gonna be taking any more no more stuff,
Well, I did realize
no
that
more authorization.
back when it was working or when we were
Mhm.
trying to use it, We were
Yeah.
actually using AirMap for authorization before we were forced to go to before you fly, and then
Well,
before you fly was brought out, and now we all use a loft.
well, here's the thing, and this is how the rundown goes. Air maps got they got life when before you fly was shaky, because
Yeah,
when the
they
government
did.
first came out with this thing, it wasn't really much. It was just, and it actually would give you restrictions, and like, even in the recognized field locations, it would
Right.
still tell you that you were close to the airport. Now, like I know our airfields here are close to the airport,
Mm-hmm.
you
That's
know,
true.
and like I said, air maps, when you mentioned air maps got bought, it was bought out by the people who is aloft. I'm off the top of my head, I don't remember what they were before aloft, because they had been
Right.
before that. I'm trying to whatever. But what happened, and there was some issues with air maps, and then air maps had made, I think, a big mistake one time, where they had suggested that they should charge for airspace authorization, for
Yeah,
flights
yeah, they did
like
start
that.
charging. Yeah, they did try.
No,
They tried it.
no, what they were talking about, that what these authorizations, like the FAA using these things for airspace
Yeah, Kitty Hawk
authorization.
also.
That's
Well,
what it was
yeah,
before.
it was Kitty Hawk. Yeah.
That's what it was, Kitty Hawk, before it was a law.
Right,
And
but
I had told you about them and all that other stuff before, you know, when before you fly, because before you fly was the one that everybody knew from the beginning. And they've come along. There's been other apps since then, but no one knows them more than these two.
that's
And
true. But
I think that's when Air Maps kind of lost it with everyone.
mhm.
When they were going through their issues, I think, what was it? They had a fire and all this other stuff, and
Yeah, yeah, I think that
they
was
they they
now
went
that
through.
now that I see them go under, I think it was an insurance burn. I'm just saying suspicious. They had a fire, all of a sudden they went out of business. They're going out of business,
That's
whatever.
what happened. That's a
Hey,
long. Well, it took them a long time after the fire, then, because
well,
the fire
they
was
had to
quite some
recoup them.
time.
They had to get that insurance money first. But listen, for you guys that don't use Lance, I suggest you do. I have a list here from the FAA website, Herman, that I'd like to show real quick because it shows what operating systems they are, whether you're 107 or recreational, the app will work for you. So I
Mhm.
thought this would be a little informative. This is the actual
A
FAA
lot of the
website.
people I know don't get airspace clearance because they
They
can't.
just go out and fly. I know. Shh. We're trying to show them the right way to do it. Anyway, this is from the actual FAA government website here. So I will copy this list, and it says these are all of the suppliers that support Lance around the world. Now it says here Part 107 real time authorized,
Uh-huh.
further Part 107. Then you have recreational. It even shows Apple and on Android and or desktop. So there's a whole list right here. It starts out with Air Matrix, Airspace Link, Aloft, which is what we use here in New York, Astra UTM, Autopilot, Aviation. Now, if you
Mhm.
notice, a lot of these, all of these are for 107 pilots. There's a few of them that are not for the recreational pilot. So just make sure you watch what you download, and it'll tell you whether it's for you or not. But the
Is
ETT
that right?
Aviation and the company Drone Up that we talk about a lot here has three of them: Flight
Mhm.
Ready, USA Sidekick, and Wing.
Mhm.
Okay, now
Is that right?
not a whole bunch of these work on desktops, but from what I see right here, these top three definitely do. I mean, if you want to apply for Lance approval where you want to fly, I
Mhm.
I like a loft personally.
Right.
because of the simple fact it lets us define the airspace we want to fly in. So, for example, if we wanted to fly, I gotta pull up the camera so I'm not pointing in the wrong direction. If we wanted to fly these buildings back here out
Mhm.
into the water where my shoulder is, a loft will pull up a map and allow you to draw a map around the area you want to fly. Because right on this side of the water, you may not be able to, depending on
Right.
airspace. But
Right. Right.
a loft allows you. You always joke with me because I'm always taking pictures, right? Of I'm always taking pictures of our clearance. Here's one. Here's one that I can show real quick. Hold on. Wait a minute. Nope. Wait a minute. Where was that? Let's go back to pictures. Oh, it decided to want to show you different pictures and stuff. Here it is.
He broke it.
But the last time we flew, Herman and I,
He
it,
broke it.
there it is slanted. As you see, the light blue area is where we have sectioned off. The blue dot is me, and this was the area that we were flying, which is actually a site that we're doing some stuff on. I
Mhm.
always thought Linux was just a character line. Linux was just a character from Peanuts.
What happened?
Andy Cortez. See, he said, I always thought Linux was just a character from Peanuts. That's a techie joke too. So if you don't know what the Linux operating system was, you may not understand that one. There. We
Hey,
have one app in the UK called Drone Assist, but it's more of a courtesy to log in flights rather than a
okay.
requirement. Well, the
A
only reason that
courtesy.
we suggest using apps like Aloft and those other ones is because if someone comes up to you, you're flying somewhere, look, I have authorization to fly here. And once they see you have authorization to fly in a certain area, like you may be in Class G airspace, you may not need authorization.
Right.
I'm
And then
just
you
saying
don't,
it.
it'll tell you don't need authorization.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which I use Aloft so much that even when I'm in Class G airspace, I automatically pull it out to use it out of habit. Jody, what's good, man?
Well, what's good? You asking him?
Yeah, yeah. I was asking Jody what's good,
Oh, okay.
what's going on. But as of
Mhm.
June 22nd,
Well,
air maps will be no more.
yeah, they gone.
Um,
They gone.
yeah,
Oh, they
yeah.
gone.
They are gone.
Bye bye.
They are gone. And a lot of people here, we were
Well, they
using it
say
for
they want to concentrate more on autonomy, but everybody's looking to do
and
more.
flying beyond the
more.
visual line of sight.
Right,
Oh,
right,
here's the
right.
link.
That seems to
Sorry.
be the thing now and the trend.
There's the link to the FAA website for you can download that app,
You know,
or you can find out whether it works on your PC or not. That's directly from the FAA, so can't say
what,
we're getting out any fake information
what, what,
unless
what, 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 what?
the
Who's what?
approved link UAS service suppliers around the
Oh,
world.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so this will take you to that page. It even explains lengths. And those of you who don't know, low altitude authorization and notification capability. It's a mouthful. We just call it Lank or Lance,
Lance,
depending on how. And it only works for drone pilots with access to controlled airspace at or below 400 feet.
is that right?
Yes,
You can't go,
yes.
so you can't get like clearance to shoot a rocket
It's
up
not
there.
going to right. If you're next to a mountain, it's not. You're not. If you're next to a mountain and you try to ask for clearance at 600, 700 something feet, it's going to say
Well, how
It's going
would
to
they
say, how would they know?
know?
Listen, they know.
What if I got clearance from the top of the mountain and then went down
And then went down. Oh,
yeah.
see, now you're cheating. Now you're cheating, but it's a UAS data exchange. Links, that's the actual FAA page if you need to go there and check it out. Click that like button, guys.
Because
Hey,
that would
Gary
mean I
said,
can go
Gary said, oh, okay, you saw Gary.
yeah, that means I can go 400 feet over the mountain.
Not available here. I don't know what Johnny's talking about in the chat. We
What?
fly in Class D
He don't
without
have
here.
he
Oh,
don't
oh,
have
you hear what
plans?
Andy says? Andy
What?
Cortez says we fly in Class D here without authorization as long as we follow the rules, visual line of sight, and 400 feet, etc.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So what's this test that people have to take, Herman, when you go to Europe, or else you can't fly?
That's
Well,
a good
you can fly, but you'd be considered flying illegally.
that's a damn good question. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what
I
the
know there were a
is.
few guys like
I mean,
Ron
it
and
may be
Ron.
different where he is to where everyone else is that has to take,
Right.
those,
Well,
like
Ron
remember like
and
Sean had to take the those certifications. Remember when he had the video when he took his test?
yeah.
So it all depends. I don't know where you
I
are.
will. You know who I'll ask? I'll ask Ron because he just got back from Portugal, and they all had to take a test to be able to fly their drones in Portugal
Okay,
and other parts
okay.
around the world. But
Well,
it's
ask
one
him.
test you
I'm
take, and I
curious.
believe it's lifetime. Also,
Well, ask him because I'm looking to take the test everywhere to fly everywhere because I want to fly everywhere.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
Gary. We want to take the test also for Canada.
yeah, Gary.
Could we see those guys in Canada? There might be a reason why we want to take a test
Yeah, because
to get up
Gary,
there.
they're coming up with some bigger and better things, right?
Visa registration. The
And I
UK
was
is C.
and I was
Oh,
thinking if I could fly in Canada, I could fly by and drop some D batteries on your house, on your solar panels or something like that.
hey, Andy just told us what it is. In Europe, it's the ESA registration, and in the
Okay.
UK, it's the CAA
All right.
DMARS
See, you got it.
test. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Andy. I appreciate that. I'm going to make a mental note of that. Actually, I'll just take a screenshot
No, why
right
don't you
here.
write that down? Because if you take a mental note about that, remember you
It'll be
should.
gone.
Yeah, because then you won't remember. I'd have to ask you about this 3 weeks from now. Maybe you'll remember it. Because if I ask you about it tomorrow, I'm
I'm
not.
taking a screenshot, man. Leave me
Huh?
alone. I took a screenshot. All right. Thanks, Andy. We appreciate that. But so we're looking to take all tests. Could those guys be trying to plan a trip to Canada? Who knows? Hey,
Trip to Canada.
see, Gary has his trust certificate when he came down here to the States. See, that's
That ain't good for nothing, Gary. Flying in the park.
yeah. Except Geeks Vana did a video 2 weeks ago on it. Okay. All right. That's interesting, though.
What, on the trust test?
I don't know. Hold on, Herman. I'll be right back.
Well, I mean, it's a good certificate for for the guys flying recreation or recreational, I should say. They can it's a basic knowledge test. Everyone should know what's on that. You shouldn't be operating a drone if you can't answer those questions on that trust test. Not at all.
It's kind of hard not to fail.
It's like
Hey,
this
where you
trust
point,
test
New
should
England?
it's like when you go into the store to buy to buy a drone, they should be like, you're looking to purchase a drone. Okay, hold on a second. Sit over there and fill this out and answer these questions. And let the Scantron in the back. Think about, okay, you can sell it to him now. He passed his trust test.
He says you're best taking the European test on a Luxembourg site as it's in English. See.
Or have to bring it in with you when you go buy a drone.
Thank you, Andy. Best taking the test on the Luxembourg sites.
Okay. So write
See,
that down. Write it
I
down.
got it. Screenshots.
You're going to
Screenshot.
erase that. Write it down.
No, I don't erase photos. Only data. Only data.
What's the difference?
Well, if I keep photos longer. Herman, have you seen people drive and they pass the test? LOL. That's true, Johnny.
Have I
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
people drive?
He's saying if you can pass the trust test,
Well,
you know how people.
Johnny, the road test is a minimum basic skills test. You don't have to know how to drive to pass the road test. You just need to know how to let that shit roll forward, backwards, and trying to get it into a parking space that's big enough to build the shit in.
Exactly.
It's a minimal basic skills test. I mean, if you take any classes with a half decent, well, see, that's the biggest problem right now. You got a lot of guys that can't drive teaching other people to drive. You know, and
True.
that's why you got a lot of shit going on the roads out there today.
Just like we saw somebody training someone how to drive.
Oh yeah, that was
They told
ridiculous.
them make a broken U-turn on a busy street with over double yellow lines.
Yeah,
And this was an instructor
that didn't
telling
make no sense.
teaching someone. Now, keep in mind, it's not rush hour, but these streets are generally busy. Double yellow line, you're not supposed to cross. Okay. He
Unless you're
had
going
her
into a
or girl make a
driveway
broken
or
U-turn.
an emergency.
Right. This is a video you need to fly in Europe. Thank you. I'm gonna save it right now.
Okay. Yeah, get that, Lawrence. Right there.
I got it already. Loading up now. I'm waiting for it.
Write the whole thing now. HTTPS.
Oh, there's Sean. Okay. I want this to save in my watch later folder. There we go.
Uh-oh.
I can't lose it there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in my watch later. Thank you,
Hello.
Andy. Appreciate that. So we know which test. D-Mac.
D-Mac.
How are you,
What's
man?
good?
Broken
So,
U-turn as a L.
uh,
The way he had her make this broken U-turn
well,
was
here's the thing. Unless they've changed the law since I got my driver's license, to my knowledge, a broken U-turn, which is what they call a K-turn, is only supposed to be made on a two-way street that does not have a double yellow line on it.
right.
Not on a street with a double yellow line. That is an illegal turn. But
it is.
It seems like they allow that nowadays, but you know, I don't know. So who knows?
This is true.
Who knows? But Lawrence, you know, you like Girl Scout cookies?
Who the hell doesn't?
Well, you know, it's funny. I was checking out.
Who doesn't? Let me mute my mic, man.
What was that?
That's.
Oh,
they're busy.
I thought they was coming.
I don't know. No, they're going away. They're not coming in this direction. Hey, Bill, coast to coast. What's
about
good,
to like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and end the stream.
Yo, Andy Cortez, have a good evening, man. He says it's late there.
All right, Andy.
They are 6 hours ahead of us. I think it's about 11 something now.
Stopping in and hanging out with us, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you. It's 11 something in the UK right about now, if I'm correct. I think they're about 5 or 6 hours ahead of us.
Good, man. Yeah, Lawrence,
about 10 something.
They was loud and clear, the police signs. I was like, they coming? I'm about to dip out like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, end the stream early.
Can't dip out nowhere. You got a live stream to do, man. Could you imagine that? Could you guys imagine that? You hear the sirens, and all of a sudden Herman says, I'll be right back. No, that wouldn't be funny. That wouldn't be funny, man. Andy, you're right, man. You're right. It's you hear sirens around here every day. It's a constant in life. Yeah, unfortunately.
But
getting back to the Girl Scout cookies,
right? Have you ever noticed that with Girl Scout cookies, right? Did you ever notice that everything that the Girl Scout cookies, all of the Girl Scout cookies that you've seen, that Keebler probably makes something similar or not the same thing?
It's not the same. But yeah, I know what you're
That's
talking about.
because I remember what I was telling you, and if you and I guarantee you this one. If you get your hands on a box of Girl Scout cookies, right? Go check out the sugar, the fat, and all that content to a regular box of Heat and Nabisco or somebody. It's higher. Girl Scout cookies, they
We'll put you in a diabetic
the
coma.
girls, those little Girl Scouts, whoever makes whichever bakery makes those things for them, they put some stuff in there.
Oh yeah.
They have you like a zombie going back for more.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have you
It was
doing
about those
you'll
three boxes.
be
Those
doing
three
two
boxes.
boxes a week.
A week, a couple of days, depending.
No,
Sorry,
but
being interrupted by the sirens again.
oh,
Can't do nothing about it though. The
they coming
precinct.
for you. No,
No,
but
the precinct.
what I wanted to say about that was because New Air and the Port Authority, they held a demonstration where they had delivered Girl Scout cookies across the Hudson River.
Yep.
Now, 3 weeks ago, they did this demonstration that traveled 3 miles, right? From what's that, Greenville yards in Jersey City.
Mm-hmm. Which are the freight
Oh,
yards?
yeah, over to the 65th Street rail yards in Brooklyn.
Yes.
That's the rail yard, Lawrence, that's right across from Owl's Head Park, where
Exactly. Where the tracks
where the
lead to the water.
Gowanus, right, where the Gowanus, after you're passing by the Army terminal, and it
Mm-hmm.
splits and goes
Yes.
towards the Belt Parkway.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where that yard is over there.
And keep in mind, this flight was coordinated with the FAA and the police, and everyone were involved because they not only made this trip across, but they made it back to Herman.
Well, they went back and forth with Girl Scout cookies. As they dropped off a box, they sent another box back.
Yes.
What I thought was so
We'll play the
remarkable
video
about this
afterwards.
was that they wanted to prove how safe this was, but not only was it that they prove how safe it was, but how fast it could be done
Yes.
and how cleanly it could be done. And this was done fully autonomous, where
Yep.
they actually had a crew on standby on each of the drone flights, to somebody on the controls to take control of anything as to happen. But what they did with this is they flew it and in waypoints. Now they set up what is it, 5 waypoints across the Hudson River to fly this.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and it was interesting when they, when you check it out, they speak more to the fact of saying middle mile delivery, like, as opposed to well, when they say middle mile,
Mm-hmm.
also like fixed site,
Yeah,
uh
it would have to
because
be.
because you know most of the people who are seeing this being done are following the pattern that was already set forth with the program that was started by Dr. Gwen at WakeMed
Right.
with UPS and Matternet.
Yes.
And this was actually being tested here in New York City, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know, but this was being done at a couple of facilities here in New York where they had drone flights, where drones were moving blood samples and stuff and other things across the hospital facility.
Right.
Uh,
And before, hey,
right,
Angie,
right, and that's
before,
kind of, yeah. What is that?
no, go, I just wanted to say before we play the video, we have to give credit to AP Archives, which is the Associated Press Archives, because they were there, Leonard, to record
Mm,
this
right,
while it was going on.
and the thing is with this whole thing, they pattern this behind that whole program, and they're saying that fixed sites, from one fixed site to another fixed site, is more scalable and more seeable happening in the next 5 years as opposed to the delivery to homes. And everybody, you see a lot of work being done in the pushing of the deliveries to home, but fixed site to fixed site, you probably see that going on more so with the drone delivery.
Right,
You know,
right. Now, what was good about it is we can actually play the video.
testing out some new spectacles here tonight. So bear with me.
Okay, All right, so check out your spectacles on this. I'm going to play the video back so you can hear. But like I said, this was choreographed with the FAA, and everyone else involved, police, everyone that had a part in this. I'll go through the list after the video. But this was
I
the
don't know if
first
you've seen
box.
anybody flying around out there in the water.
Can you hear it?
No,
Huh?
barely.
Okay, and I know why. I need to
Why?
stop sharing and share sound.
Whoa,
There we go. There we go. Now we got it.
he's losing it, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go again. Let's try it again. Not losing it. Stop.
Careful, hey, there's staples in there. You don't want to cut yourself. So I cut my finger down.
Hey, look at that. Look at what kind were those? How large? What kind were those? Angie!
They were like a raspberry chocolate type thing.
Yeah? Yeah, those are something they probably got a different. See, here's the thing I got caught up with when I found out about the Girl Scout cookies. Like the Jersey
So
chapter,
today, the
they get better
future
cookies
is
than
now.
New
And we're
York.
going to see cargo transport via UAS, a drone, go up from the New Jersey side of the Port Authority over the Hudson River.
How is it
Obviously,
playing
one
on
of the
your
most
end? Is it
traveled both
skipping?
marine and
No, it's
airspaces
fine.
in the world,
Good.
and drop
Skip
down
it a
onto the
little bit.
65th Street rail yard
All right.
over in Brooklyn. And we will be transporting very precious cargo today in the form of Girl Scout cookies. And so we'll bring it over there, drop it in Brooklyn, and then we'll bring back
Raspberry
another
rallies,
box of
they're
cookies over
called.
here. And really what we're doing today is proving that this can
okay.
be done safely.
Yeah, those
So
are probably some
with
Jersey
these
cookies.
drone operations, it carries significant benefit to the Port Authority and the general public. It's faster, it's safer, and it's cleaner.
So actually during COVID, there were hospitals in New York City who were transporting medical goods just to test it out, just to kind of get it to hospitals a little quicker. That is an application of this technology, and that's kind of in the direction that we're leading towards.
Technology moves very fast. You'll see your car has features
Yeah,
today that
Port
it didn't
Authority
have just
was
5 years
involved,
ago.
New Jersey
But we see the drone
and
cargo
New
space,
York.
especially for middle mile, which is to allow shippers to move
Look at those batteries.
goods from
though.
a fixed point to a fixed point. Not necessarily drones landing on everyone's
Yeah.
home, that kind of
You
thing.
need to be able
But we
to
think
fly
middle
this
mile
thing.
has strong opportunities over the next 5 years.
And that's it pretty much. But we'll put the link in the chat and give credit to AP.
This is a real B&H customer story.
Stop spinning. Oh, there we go.
Uh-oh.
And we give full credit to AP Archives, the Associated Press
That's it, they're
Archives.
done.
Just
But
want to
you
give
know-
credit to them because that's where we got the video from.
Lawrence, NUAIR, right, is doing some really remarkable things. You know, us when we talk about drones on here, and we talk about not only the stuff that like we fly and stuff like that, and having fun with the our Mavics and our Minis and stuff like that, but as far as the things that's happening, we talk about all these things that people have all these trials with drones and stuff like that for delivery in all these different states.
Mm-hmm.
But right here in New York, NUAIR is running that 50-mile
Awesome.
corridor, where all kind of things are being tested there. They even had a program to implement to getting drones in the hands of more agencies throughout the state of New York.
Right. Right.
Department and stuff like that. They're working with drone responders on some different projects. And I just think that they're doing so much NUAIR for the drug community, and they're actually working on how the when we talk about the traffic management systems,
Mm-hmm.
that's basically what they're working on up there in Rome. So how to integrate all of these drones into the airspace.
Right. That's what a UTM will be, an unmanned
Along with-
traffic management system.
Right, along with with the drones that are being flown, like what we are doing, and the other guys here in the chat that might fly recreational stuff like that,
Hey, Jerry.
and stuff like that, and other guys, just basically making one big happy family in the sky. Although the one thing that I did have a slight bit issue with was the whole beyond visual line of sight flight of 400 feet and below.
What do you mean?
Well, 400 feet and below, flying beyond visual line of sight for commercial use
Would affect us.
Yeah, that was the only thing I kind of had a slight issue with.
Well, because of UTMs will be the reason why they'll be able to fly below 400 feet. UTM, unmanned traffic management system, which means if your drone has remote ID, everyone around you or everyone coming into your area should be able to see that drone
Is that
and
right?
tell where it's going, where obstacle avoidance and UTM management systems will cause these passenger drones. You have to give the right of way, I'm sure.
We're kind of hoping that it works that way.
Wait,
But I'm not.
true.
But see,
That's
I'm not
true.
worried. No, I'm not talking about passenger anything.
No,
What
you're
I'm-
talking
what I'm
delivery.
talking
You're talking
about-
straight delivery.
Yes, like okay, you see how we're okay. Well, we're operating at a couple of times during the week. You were watching.
What's up, Corey?
We see DHL pass by how many times at that one site? How many times does DHL pass by?
DHL passes us in a 2-hour
We're just there
period.
in about a 2-hour period. How many times are they passing by?
At least 6 to 8 times. Yeah, easily.
Right. And that's going back and forth, back and forth, back.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually that could be one of those things. Like the Nuva.
One of those little highways.
The Nuva.
Highway.
No, I'm saying the Nuva. Like I said, it's a helicopter.
Right.
We talk about,
and their helicopters are going to be
carbon
replaced.
footprint emissions and stuff like that. It could be that Nuva 300 one day zooming by there.
I want to see some of this stuff though. I really want to see some of this stuff in the air.
Flying by itself?
Yeah, just to experience it. We've done so many stories on it. I want to see some of this shit.
You know what? I'm putting it out there, but I'm waiting for the day when you could actually see the other drone pilot, because the radios and everything has a two-way camera. You can see the other guy when you see his drone.
Oh, to see the guy piloting it?
Yeah.
Oh, see, now you're talking too far into the future.
Or communicate with him.
Okay, now see that would be something. But with the remote ID,
get the hell out of the way. I'm coming.
Well, we will have to give the right of way. You know that.
Sky rage.
You know that. You do know that, right? Because we'll be on the bottom of the totem pole.
You know that, all right? Talking about road rage, we got sky rage.
Could you imagine? He was chasing me with his drone. Yeah, it's possible to have road rage, right? Or what about RC planes and helicopters? Will they be required to get remote ID? Jerry Franks, in answer to that question, if it can fly and it's not made of paper, yes.
I believe that they'll be fine flying where they've been flying. I don't think much has really changed.
You know, Warren has
other than the fact that the clubs that they've been flying in had to apply for freer status, and then most of them are AMA guys, so their clubs were applied for by the AMA themselves.
Yeah, but Warren has a good statement here. Birds are going to be pissed off. Yeah, because they're not going to know what the hell that thing is coming at them.
Well, they'll be all right.
They will adapt.
Birds are pretty good at knowing that that's not one of my friends.
Jim's.
That's not the guy that we usually run from. Doesn't smell like him. Doesn't look like him.
Right. That's true.
They're pretty good at that.
You want to know how I know that's true? Because where I used to live, flying along the beach out in Rockaway,
Mhm.
there the seagulls are used to drones. I've actually flown my FPV drone amongst them as they were just hovering in the
Well,
wind.
dumbass
I've flown
pigeons
my
will still come and look.
What happened?
A pigeon will still come and look.
I think a pigeon is just saying, "Hey, that looks like another pigeon. Maybe I can get some."
I don't think so. They'll
No,
fly by and look.
they're just nosy.
Yeah, they'll fly
Well,
by and look
we've
if
seen
they're in the
plenty of
area.
videos of people with pigeons flying past their cameras and stuff. I have footage like that. You do. Everyone does.
Yeah. When it comes to that though, seriously, birds, if you're nesting, I don't care what it is, they're gonna have an issue with it if it stops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
Well, see,
continues to
that's
circle.
how I get them to leave me alone. Either they I hover there or I rise straight up. Once they see you can rise straight up like that, which is
Well, that's what
something
I'm saying.
birds
They're
can't
not
do.
gonna bother. I don't think they would bother you if you're just passing through, but if you're stopping or circling, they're gonna if they're nesting, they're gonna have an issue with that. Birds are gonna have an issue with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you saw what happened with what was that? Wing
Mm-hmm.
with the delivery?
Those crows, they're aggressive.
Yeah, they're not because they were nesting. They weren't playing. You can't hang out here and make a delivery.
That's true.
According to Marvel, adamantium
Hold
That's
on.
right near here. You can't be here. Gotta go. Move that.
the metal
We don't know what you are.
American metallurgists drive.
What happened?
Nothing. I was typing.
Oh, they coming to get you?
Stop.
They asked you to buzz them in to come upstairs and get you?
He's stupid. No, no, hardly. Yay, happy birthday, Jerry Franks. What's good, man? Hope
Happy
all is well.
birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to you. See,
Well, yeah.
Barkley, there's an idea for you, Barkley.
What?
You can make some adamantium tip props.
Uh-oh.
Problem solved.
Too heavy.
For now. What if you paint it on? See, he gets it. Days, drone days, how are you? I like crows too, but they're aggressive. You know what? They're punks though, because I've seen crows go after my drone, and then when I turn around and move towards them,
Uh-huh.
they go away.
Yeah, but if you okay, fly by the nest and they got some babies in there and see what happens. Hang out, trying to take pictures.
Yeah, right. Herman, you kill me. Jerry Franks. He said thanks, those guys.
Hang out, and try to take pictures when they got the babies in the nest.
What happened?
Try to hang out and take pictures of the crows when they got the babies in the nest.
Oh no. Yeah, well, see, that was the reason why they had. That's
They are because that's why Wing got attacked.
right. They didn't know they were near a nest. Which is going to be interesting when they start launching these drones and these delivery drones and stuff.
They're not going to launch drones to deliver nothing to nobody's house. Just the guys that live in that trial area. That's the only guys that's going to see that.
Everybody else is going to get them in the hospital.
Yeah, I mean,
hospital deliveries.
Like seriously, how long does it take before you piss the drone pilot off? The guy that's like, I've got my 107. I got into this shit to try to do something because I love drones, and I'm delivering fucking donuts and toothpaste, and soap.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why you need a zoom. Nah, I don't need any drone with a telescopic lens, which is why I'm glad I didn't jump on the first Mavic 3 and the Mavic Pro. I probably will not get.
I love that zoom on it. Zoom right in and go right up.
I'm barely using the regular zoom on the classic.
Hey, you can zoom right in.
Yeah, you could, but
you got to know what you're using it for.
True.
Saying that you can change how things look drastically. if you set the camera the right way.
Yeah.
I'll show you one day.
Hey, Nicole Lockhart, how are you? Welcome
I'll
to stream.
show
What's
you.
up?
But yeah, Lawrence, that's it for your boys over there. But you know what you did not do? You forgot about the sponsors again this week. I don't know what's going on with you.
You know why?
You
You know what? I didn't forget about the sponsors,
Sure
but
you
I
did.
had it queued up.
Sure you did. You forgot all about them. And when they come looking for you, I'm gonna say Lawrence said he didn't forget you. He just ain't doing it.
Here we go.
You know, guys have been fired from
Wednesday night with
I'm
those guys is
telling you.
sponsored by those guys.
You're skipping a little bit there, Lawrence.
What happened?
Skipping a little bit there.
Oh, probably mad stuff going on here.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying it was the playback.
Jerry Franks, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your birthday, man. Herman needs his own comedy show. Later.
No, not really. I'm not that funny.
Hey, Jackson. What's up,
But
Chris?
thank you.
All right. Well, it's FYI.
What?
AirMap is no more.
Really?
No one has any news to talk about.
No,
And
but
now that the Mavic Pro is out there.
AirMap was I just that's how I said they had their problems, and then they tried to play the drone community with that whole that the FAA could charge everyone for airspace authorization through these platforms. I'm not saying that it won't happen. I'm just saying
Right.
I didn't like it when they came out and suggested something of that such natures.
You know, it's funny you mention that. I just
No, seriously, because when you start doing stuff like that, for a guy like me, that majored in right hands and left hands and had a minor and a few kicks, from the University of breaking off something.
yeah.
Stuff like that will upset you a little bit.
Right. Yeah, that's
Just
true.
a little
You're
bit.
right about that.
Yeah.
You have a very valid point.
So I thought that was a little unkind to the community when they suggested that for people who were using their platform for authorization. Now, if they had some kind of a fee for their app, then that was one thing. You should have did that from when you tried to evolve the app. But to suggest us paying to fly our drones was suggesting trying to take some guys out of the sky.
That's true. That's very, very true.
You got guys that, seriously that what's up, Cool Beck?
Cool Beck, what's good, Ray?
Guys that work hard and spend their hard-earned money on these drones. And some guys gotta really, save money to purchase one to be able to enjoy the hobby. For you to do something like that, I don't know, can't happen to you. I'll use a loft.
You see what John Olson put? Says your friend complains about getting the 107 and delivering donuts. My relative is complaining he's flying cargo planes to Baghdad, delivering garbage and being shot at. Hey, I understand, but that must be a hell of a job.
Pays more, flying to Baghdad or
flying to Baghdad, but I did. This was a report that I had heard, just to diverse on the subject really quick, talking about Baghdad and places like that. About 3 years ago, they did a news report on one of the most dangerous and most expensive jobs in the world. And one of them was, the number one job was
flying to Baghdad?
Carrying the passengers from airports like Baghdad and the Middle East to the hotels or the embassies or where they have to go.
Oh, okay.
Because they say they're constantly on the road and they have armored cars. Yeah, they have armored cars. They have convoys and stuff. And one of the most dangerous and most expensive jobs in the world is a transporter from the airport in the Middle East to a hotel.
You know, it's funny. You hear that all over the world, though, even here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every now and then you hear those stories about someone who came or went and they were just jacked and you never seen them again.
So, right. So it's a very big job. This guy that they did the report on he's former military, and he went back to the Middle East to actually help people get to and from the airport. He said that's the hardest part of being anywhere in the world. If you can't get from your hotel or from where you're staying to the airport, you could be screwed, especially not speaking a language of a country.
Wow.
And he's made lots of money, and he says he loves doing it. He's also lost friends too. So it's not one of them jobs you can put on the flash.
Going back and forth from the airport.
Going back and forth because people learn their convoy, so they have to change up routes and things like that.
This is not for vacation spots.
No.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say I'm not going.
No. He only transports military government.
I got you.
Military government and
I know exactly what he's doing now.
Yeah. So.
They've had that happen to people on vacation.
Because
here in this country,
you hear about it all the time. Don't go. There's some parts of Mexico I would not go to.
Here too.
Yeah. True. In the United States, there are some parts I would not go to.
There's here too. You hear about that?
Yeah, you're right. Hey, what's up with Archer?
Rabbit.
What's up with Archer in the news?
Well, we did have to diverse a little bit from where we are. Well, what's happening with Archer is according to Reuters, they reported that the FAA's acting administrator, Mr. Billy Nolen, he will be joining the aircraft manufacturer, Archer Aviation, when he steps down from his position that he's supposedly leaving from this summer.
That's the FAA position that he had.
Yeah, as the administrator. He was appointed as the acting administrator after after the other gentleman at I can't remember his name, he left. And they made him the acting administrator, but him going to work for Archer Aviation is interesting, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And I'm gonna ask you this because do you think that by him going to work for Archer, could this make it a little faster in the progress for Archer's certification for that same midnight air taxi right there?
You know what? I'm actually hoping so. You know why? He didn't. The reason that he left, I would like to believe, is a lot of people didn't think he had any aerospace or aeronautics knowledge.
Well, it's funny that they said that because I think he did work in administration in an airport.
Yeah.
But the reason why I ask you that is because just at the end of last year, they published for this thing here, their airworthiness, right?
Yep.
And at the AUVSI exponential, your buddy Mr. Nolen, Billy Nolen, he and this is even to talk about like what remember when Stephen went to the other conference there over in I believe in Finland, over in Helsinki.
Yes.
Mr. Nolen spoke to the drone industry, not so much about beyond visual line of sight flight, which is what everybody's expecting to see come about soon, but he spoke more to the fact of this airspace blueprint that the FAA has for these air taxis and for what they call advanced air mobility that we were talking about, delivery drones and stuff like that.
Right.
He spoke more about those things, and that's why I asked that, because now he's going to go and work for one of these companies. So I was just curious to know if like his influence would help to get this off the ground, because you know, like we said before, the Europeans were talking about the games in 24, but they're talking about the Olympic Games in Los Angeles in 28.
Yeah.
You know, they would like to have these things flying in the skies for then. So
Well, I'm hoping that
who knows?
they get this stuff going.
It's just a
I mentioned
helicopter
it.
to me. I don't know.
Well, I mentioned it before, but on and on a prior live stream that
The rich man's
the
toy.
FAA is a little slow, or how would I say, slacking when it comes to certain things. Right now in Europe and in Asia, they have eVTOLs ready to launch, like you said, in 24.
What are they
EHang,
talking about?
that's what they're talking
EHang.
about.
No, not EHang, but I'm talking about, like, you know, Lilium and Volocopter and these other companies over there in
Yeah,
Europe.
Jobby,
Well, Joby is a United States firm, and
but they'll be launching in other countries before they launch in the country they started in, which makes sense. But it's kind to me, it's kind of ass backwards. You would think here in the United States, they can't go anywhere in the United States until the FAA gets off their ass.
Joby's doing quite fine, just like these guys are doing fine with what do you call it, Archer. I think they both will be okay, you know. I really do. I really do. What I did want to talk to you about was the thing we talk about the title here on the stream, and
Mhm.
the one thing that I wanted to mention was we have seen some talk now about these exploding of Avata props, the
Yeah.
props on the Avata exploding, and I, you know, didn't we see this before with some, I think it was some aftermarket props exploding one time? I don't know if that was with a FPV drone or was that with a regular camera drone? I don't know. Well, this gentleman, Sean from Air Photography, had a problem with his props exploded
I'm
or
not gonna play the video, but this dude right here.
blew off his drone. What's his name there? Yeah, Sean from yeah, his props blew off his drone, and I don't know. I don't know what
Well,
happened. I
well,
was
I'm
wondering
go ahead.
because no, I was just saying I was wondering because we all know that to check props before flights to see if there's any nicks or cracks or stuff like that, and if you could feel anything on it.
Can I stop you right there? We all do not know that because I've seen too many Avata pilots, FPV
You
pilots,
say to add another
camera drone
question to the trust
pilots
test.
crash their drones and flip it over and say, start it up. And when the props spin, they say, oh, it's okay, and take off again with them. I've seen too many pilots do it. And I want to be honest about this because people are saying, hold on, people are saying, oh, go out and buy the master screw props. You don't have those problems. That's not true. Any type of prop can explode or rip apart while flying in midair due to a hairline fracture, a microfracture, or just poor low maintenance.
That's
Okay.
what it is,
I've
low
had props
maintenance.
explode on me in FPV. I've had props hit a bird
Mhm.
and I've landed and saw the prop had a microfracture in it, and I've changed props. All of this stuff about exploding props, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a lot of things you have to account. Temperature is one. I know dialed props suck. Those are FPV props. They suck in the cold weather.
Mhm.
Props spinning at a high RPM in the cold will
Right.
cause it to get brittle, and if there's a hairline fracture, cause them to break. If you hit something, the Avata, how many times have you, Herman, and you guys in the chat seen somebody would, right? Jackrabbit says bend the prop right back into place and go again. See,
Yeah.
he knows. We all practice it. Bad maintenance on props. How many times have you seen someone? You've seen Ken Herron, everyone fly in Avata and it crashes. And what do? They turn it over. Oh, the motors start. Let's go. Not otherwise. It is. So I want to get rid of that. What is that word you use, Herman? Verbiage. I want to get rid of the verbiage of Avata props exploding. There are a lot of things that could cause it to happen. If we're gonna play the video,
But they could explode.
Right, they do explode, but we're gonna play the video, and you will say to yourself, there were 2 points that he mentioned that could have caused his props to explode. One of them, he says he hasn't touched his props since they came out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
In the world of FPV, and Scott will tell you this, and anyone else who flies FPV will tell you that you need to check all your screws on your drone, especially in FPV, because vibrations and loose screws affect the drone.
Okay.
All right, I got that out my system, but I got more later.
You got more later.
Yeah, so stop it. Don't say Avata props are exploding. Like I said, the guy said 2 crucial things. One was he never checked the screws from the day he brought the drone.
Well, has anybody in the chat had this problem?
Yes. Yes, the oh shit button, that sudden stop.
Has anybody in the chat had
Yeah,
this
has
problem?
anyone in the chat had
Well, it can't stop if it don't have props on it.
Yeah. The air photography, he hit sport mode. Now, Bob Casey, that's the second point I wanted to bring up. You're 100% right. He says he hit sports mode, and shortly after that, it happened. Now, if you're flying with a prop that's damaged, if you're flying with a prop that's damaged or a prop hub that's damaged, and you switch from 1 RPM to a higher RPM, that sudden torque may play a role in prop explosion also. Yes, you're 100% right, but he had to have some kind of fault or something wrong with the prop to begin with. The fact that he never checked his props, like Herman and I, we fly professionally, we check our props as soon as we pull it out of the bag. We check our props the night before. It's any number of things that can happen. People crash and they chip a piece off their prop and they say, oh, this is fine. No, it's not. Don't get into that habit. Don't get into the verbiage.
When they talk about an airfoil,
yes,
if you check out what the props are actually doing, you'll realize that chinks and knocks and niches and stuff like that actually change the way air flows.
They change the performance.
You know, you remember the time when the hub popped off of the carbon fiber propellers for the
Yep.
And
I remember that.
I'm like, why is my Phantom flying back to me like that? Like it twisted.
Like it was the prop was wobbling.
Coming back wobbling, and I'm like, twist his ankle? No, one of the hubs flew off the propeller.
Hey, Michael Blades. And I'm answering someone in the chat because
changed
I change out my motors, my quads that I use props that have screws, like the motors, the one with the shaft, the nut tightening. Yeah, all of that matters now. Had he changed his props and did proper prop maintenance, I can honestly tell you it might have been over tightening. You can over tighten props. I've done it before.
Really?
There are a lot of factors. Hey, Ray Kelly, but my problem is, and he said 2 crucial things. Bob Casey brought up one, which was he went to sports mode, which means he went from normal mode to sports mode. The sudden increase in RPMs looked like that's what finished off the prop. It was okay flying in normal mode.
Right, well, the props were good. I mean, but until he started to do anything, eventually it would have just ripped apart. It doesn't matter.
You want to play the video and then we can elaborate it on a little more?
Sure, you can play the video if you want. I mean,
for those of you who have not seen it, this guy, he What's his name again?
Sean from what was that, Air Photography?
Yeah, Sean from Air Photography. This
Yeah,
is
he
the
had that
video.
problem
It's a
with
little,
his
it's a
props
little long. I'm gonna
exploding
try
on
and
him.
get to the meat of it.
You could just fly
Yeah,
through it.
I'm gonna get to the meat of it. But these are things that you guys should consider. People go out, they take their props out, their props bang up against the drone, all kinds of
In the
stuff,
drone
man.
case, in your
Yeah.
bag, floating around.
Good day, folks. Sean here from Air Photography. So
Hey,
yeah,
Sean,
that
what's good?
title of this video is not clickbait. My Avata is somewhere out there in the lake.
In the
And
lake.
yeah, it just kind of fell from the sky and plunged down into the water.
Bloop.
Flying. And yesterday I had a buddy come up. We were going to go do some crawling with our RCs, and then of course go out and fly our drones. We picked a spot kind of up on a cliff, and a great spot just to fly up and down the coast. He was going to fly his DJI FPV, and I was going to fly the Avata. And I put my Avata up, and literally it was in the air for about 30 seconds. I get it up, I switch it into sport mode, and then I head out over the water. And like I said, about 30 seconds in, I hear a pop, and then it just, in my goggles, everything was just spiraling, and of course it fell into the water. Of course, it's devastating when something like that happens, but later that day I went home and I reviewed the footage to try and see what happened.
We'll show.
And at first I thought it was a bird strike, just because when I took a quick look at the footage, you could see these two dark things appear on the screen just before it started spiraling. When we took a closer look at the footage and really slowed it down,
Pause. I want you to see. This is a 5-prop standard Avata. Here's 3 here. The hub is split in the middle. Here's 2 props. So it broke at the hub.
you can actually see that it's 2 halves of one of the props. On top of that, I also got a message in the goggles saying to check my propellers to see if they were working. Now, I know if some of you are going to say it could be due to over-tightening of the props, and I am aware that is an issue, but I am very careful of that. I've been flying drones for a long time, so I am very careful of that. And this particular Avata has still had the factory props on it. I've done about 50 flights on this particular Avata, and so the tightness of the props came right from the factory. I hadn't touched them.
Stop. Number 1 that I was talking about. He never touched those props from out of the box.
So it's very odd that they would just shatter like that for no reason. Now, I have contacted DJI and submitted a flyaway report because I do have refresh on it. I am hoping they'll say it's a mechanical error, not user error, so maybe they won't charge me the fee, but you know, if I have to pay it, I guess I have to pay it. But we'll see what they say.
DJI sees this video, no flyaway.
And
That's not a
video
flyaway
footage that I had from the goggles.
It
So
didn't
see what
fly
they
away
say.
anyway.
Now,
It
the
went
problem
straight
is
down.
like I said, I'm going to be on the road for
What'd you
4
say,
months,
George?
and
I
getting
mean,
product
Herman,
shipped
that's
to me
not
is going to be kind of a
combination.
challenge.
That's no combination.
So what I'm going to be doing, or what I ended up doing, is ordering a second Avata from Amazon. It's being delivered today, actually. And I'm going to have to drive to London to go pick it up. I think I would like to have 2, a backup as well. So that's why I did order another one.
Get
Just the drone itself. Because if I'm on the road, I'm taking 3 drones with me.
He's
the
almost
Mini
to the
3
second
Pro,
part.
the Mavic 3, and the Avata. The Avata is my absolute favorite drone, and that's the drone I'm going to be flying most of the time. So I do want to have a spare with me because if
it's got a
something
great
happens
maintenance
to
plan.
it,
Get another
I don't want to
drone
be stuck
just in
without one.
case.
So yeah,
You
that's
don't-
basically it. Just
you
a
don't have
kind
a
of a
good
heads
maintenance
up
plan for the
video.
second.
Check your props, make sure there's no cracks in them, and definitely don't over tighten them. If you tighten them too much, you could crack the plastic. Now, the thing I love about DJI drones is that they're super safe and very reliable. If you have anxiety about flying your drone, once you've been flying a DJI drone for a while, you realize that, you know, they're just reliable, but this really kind of shakes my confidence that a prop would just shatter like that in mid-flight. If I'd been over land, not a big deal. That Avata's pretty durable, so I probably would have just went and picked it up and just put new props on and flown again. But yeah, of course, over the water, it was just unretrievable. So I'm gonna be a little bit more cautious where I fly. I don't know if I'll have any confidence to put it over water anymore. But
That'll do it.
Thank goodness it was over water when it happened and not over, you know, property or, you know, hurt somebody.
Anyway, I'm stopping there.
You know what would stop me from flying my drone over water? If
What?
something came up out of the water and knocked it out of the sky.
Right. I could understand that.
Yeah, not if the drone's props broke.
Yeah, exactly. Scott Jackrabbit goes, "Welcome to FPV world. I had FPV with screws, could hardly ever fly it because of props breaking and exploding." Um, this right in FPV, this does happen. Now I
So
have
let me
crashed.
ask you this, Lawrence, not to cut
Yeah,
you off. What do you think happened to this guy?
I'm
You
telling you what happened. Low
know,
prop maintenance. I'm being honest. He says it in the video himself. These were
if it
factory.
was
These were
overland, he
factory
would have just
props.
picked it up.
He took it out the box, didn't check any screws, and you don't think about this stuff because you figure, oh, brand new car off the lot, wheel wouldn't be loose.
He did say the Avata is pretty durable. Normally, if I was overland, I would have just went and picked it up.
Hmm.
And
And flew again without checking the props. Plain and simple. And it's all about maintenance. You guys look at your
I'm
bird.
not laughing at him. I'm not laughing at him. I'm just
Scott said the Loch Ness monster come snatch your shit out the air.
yeah, that's the only way I'm not flying over water again. Something
Lake
in that
Erie is
water,
collecting drones.
if something in that water jumps up and grabs it out of the water,
Hmm.
hey, I'm good. I ain't
Well,
flying.
I'm gonna put, can I get back into my little mini rant
Go
about
ahead.
these props exploding?
Knock
Because I'm gonna
yourself
say
out.
this. I see this with all of you Avata pilots out there.
Uh-oh.
You land hard, you crash, you check the body of the Avata, you check the lens to make sure the lens is clean, but nobody checks the fucking props.
Because it's
And
got thingy.
therein lies the problem.
It's
No
got
one
the
looks at the
thingy.
prop. And I see Avatas crash and bend and bang. They're supposed to be
It's
durable and all of that,
because it's
but
got the little thingy around it.
doesn't mean nothing. There is a millimeter, a half a millimeter space between the prop and that guard, that
Okay.
duct. Okay.
So
Now,
so
if you
how
bang that duct enough, eventually,
you say it'll move and hit the propeller?
yes, yes, yes. That's what it's designed to do.
Okay.
So if
I,
you hit a
I'd
person
like to see
with an Avata,
how much give this guy.
what, huh? What happened?
I'd like to see how much give it has before it shatters.
You know what? The next time I see someone with an Avata,
You're gonna run it into a pole?
I'm gonna take it and fling it into the wall. No, I'm just
Oh,
gonna
that's
see.
done. No,
I'm gonna
no
squeeze
more
it
than
and see.
25 foot-pounds of pressure.
I'm gonna squeeze it and see. I mean, come on. It could happen to anyone. I'm not going to use a magnifying glass looking for microfractures. I'm just not one time, maybe, but other than that, the visual and feel, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to look at the prop and run your finger along the props. And
Yeah. I mean,
it's that simple, though.
it
I'm
it
tired of
it it how can I put it?
Herman. How
In
many times have
theory,
you seen someone crash in Nevada and pick it up and go, start the
well,
motor and go, oh, it's fine.
I've seen that with
Everyone does it.
the FPV doing it.
Yeah, FPV does it. You're
No,
right.
what I'm saying to you is this.
Mm-hmm. How do you guys in the chat feel?
What I think happens is with a lot of guys is I'm just trying to get up in the air. And I think that a lot of guys haven't learned certain, like I said, if you ever see how an airfoil
Correction.
functions over that prop, it would change your mind to a lot of things. You know,
You're right.
your way of thinking critically will change when you're open to more information on things.
Can I just interrupt really quick? You're 100% right, because if you remember when we were flying our Phantom 4 Pros, you and I both used to fly the carbon plastic based props, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that we did is because if you saw how a propeller bends when you fly, you would respect props a little more, because you remember the butter knife props that they came out with the Phantom 4 Pro, the white props that had the sharp tip at the end of them. Those things, which were supposed to be quieter, they were quieter, but your drone could not come straight down. If it did, the props would bend like this. You should see how those propellers freaking bend. We stuck with the carbon.
Used to sit up there in the sky. It didn't come down as
it made your drone very floaty.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Right.
well, the best props that I've ever used on a Phantom, believe it or not, were the DJI carbon fibers that they had for the Phantom 3 series.
Yeah.
Those were the best props ever that I've ever used.
The screw on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just
Because
pointing.
a lot of guys like this new quick release thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm still not a big fan of it. We've had more prop problems with the quick release than ever.
That's true. But it should
And
become
when they
a part.
started making the props that move to keep
Yeah.
everything more quieter and stuff like that,
Yeah.
we've had
Yeah,
more
but
problems.
Henry
with
Mills, welcome to the chat. He says you should always do a pre-flight check on your props. I don't usually, but I know I'm
Most
supposed to. Yeah,
most people
exactly.
want to get up in the sky.
And so fast, right? But if
It's
that's the
been
case,
I watch this. Since I've been flying drones, and I've been here, and you've probably heard me in recent time talk about verbiage. Since I've been flying drones, everybody has been trying to find a way to get up faster, get up in the sky faster, 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 faster.
yep.
And I'm a true believer that if you really need to get up in the air that fast that you can't take your time out to do what you're doing and pay attention to what you're doing, meaning that you just got there to get that shot too late.
Yeah. Right.
That's
Right.
what it
If you
really
wanted that
means.
shot, if you wanted that shot, you'd be there early.
Right. And there's a lot of guys that get up at I wouldn't even say they get up when you go into bed to get those, those sunrise shots in certain places.
Yep, yep. Hey, you see what Angie put? I learned because the sound of my drone was off and I noticed the blades had been chopped off. This is another thing. People are so into flying and so busy to get up there, they don't realize that if you listen to the sound of your drone, it will tell you if something's wrong. That's why Herman, part of our pre-flight is to take off and not go fly at a job. We take off and hover for what, Herman? 30 seconds or 30,
A little more than
45.
that. But
Right.
I hover at two different heights
Yep.
to test the how the wind is moving in that area, because I don't need the thing to crash into some of that equipment that they got moving around out there.
That's true. That's very, very true. Because I'm gonna say right now, it cost you nothing. And the time it tells to take this gimbal guard off and put a filter on, to take your props, as simple as this, okay, and run your finger along the props edges.
Hey, stop touching
It's
me like that.
nothing. It's nothing. You feel an abnormality because most people take off with the props like that. This
Hey,
is
he's
another thing you
touching
don't do either.
He's
Pull your
touching
drone
me.
out of the box and take off like this. Open your props up. Plain and simple. Open them up. When you take off like that, and I'm telling you, this is pure physics.
Someone
puts
actually did a
stress-
video with that,
Yep, it puts
showing the
stress
vibration in the arms and the flexing.
on this hub right here. Yes, it puts stress on the hub when you take off with your props closed like this. I know it looks cool to people who don't know nothing
On
about
the
drones.
spin open.
Yeah, to spin open.
Yeah.
Open your shit up. Herman and I take the time to do it. We take the time to check out prop tips, everything before we freaking fly. Because I don't want my drone falling out of the sky and busting someone in the head.
And
I mean, are we insured? Yes, we are.
but does it
But-
mean that you want to bust somebody in the head with the drone?
Exactly.
Maybe not.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. And these are just things we want to share, and that's why we wanted to do this story so much. We know you guys have saw this and was like, stop the
bust nobody
verbiage.
in the
Avata
head.
props are not exploding. All
Sure they
props
are.
freaking explode. And you're talking about master
They
screws.
exploded it.
Hold on. Everyone goes master screws, master screws. They make the best fucking props out there
Do they?
for anything that flies in the air on a recreational or professional level. Okay, but even
What?
those shatter and break.
Really?
Now, are they a lot more durable? Yes, they are, because Master Screws has been in the game for a very long time. But my point is, get into the habit of checking your props.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how many times your prop slices through bees and flies. I've seen my drone go up and seen a bug fly around it and disappear. You know why? He got ninjured.
You know what? You remember?
You remember the Phantom 4 used to land and you see bugs splatter all over that
Yeah.
white body? Right?
Yeah, you don't see the bugs, but they see the drone and they get
they
too
hear
close. They get too
And they hear
close.
it.
But you remember I told you, I think they're attracted to the sound. Because if you got a beehive and you send the drone up, the bees will come after the drone and just get sliced up
And from what I
slapped
understand,
up and chopped up, and
yep, they will attack it. From what I understand,
it'd be like a kung fu
wasps,
flick.
bees and wasps attack drones, ninja profs.
It'd
Bees
be
and
like,
wasps
it'd be like
attack.
a
Hold
kung
on.
fu flick.
Here's the science behind it. Bees and wasps attack drones because
He's
a
muted.
wasp is an enemy to a bee is an enemy to a wasp. So when you're around bees, it doesn't sound like bees to them, it sounds like a wasp. When you're around wasp, it sounds like bees.
Really?
If that makes any sense to you.
They're too stupid to realize they sound the same? Was that what you're trying to tell me?
Basically.
Okay.
You said
Hold
it
on.
yourself. If you're
Hold
flying
on.
a drone and there's a beehive nearby, they're
They
coming to
will.
attack.
Well, you see, we did a story on how they use the drone. Somebody's either building something or trying to get in here. But yeah, they use the drone to force the bees to repollinate an area.
Okay.
By having the bees follow the drone to this field, where the bees then, do their magic on the plants, and there we go. Boom.
And Jesse Scott said he tried to use his drone to knock a swarm
magic poof
out of the top of a tree. Guys, don't do that. You see those fools on YouTube using their drone slicing up. First of all, we barely have enough freaking bees as it is. Okay, and wasps and stuff like that. But call an exterminator. Stop being cheap. Just call an exterminator.
No, you know what?
Pay the guy to get stung.
It's not an exterminator when it's bees. And I think that it's kind of crazy when it's with the bees, because check this out. Here's how crazy this whole bee thing is.
Yeah.
You call a guy out, right, to come and get the bees, right?
Isn't that animal protection that comes or something weird like that?
No, they got beekeepers that come out and collect these bees. Check this shit out. You got to pay this dude, right, to come out and get these bees, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any honey, right, I think I don't know how that works out, because I know somebody that this happened to, but they end up splitting the honey with this guy.
Really?
So much honey. But also, the thing I thought was interesting, you got to pay him. He keeps the bees and could probably produce more honey later on. And
from your bees.
Right. And he gets to keep the bees after you paid him to get rid of the bees. So I don't know it might be a great idea to go into beekeeping.
It might be. But you always see the freak incident, like in the spring. It happens here in New York, where a swarm of bees will swarm a traffic light or a mailbox or something. That's usually during the time when the queen bees are trying to spread their hive and move somewhere else.
That's what it is.
Why they're attracted to that particular stoplight or whatever, I don't know, but you've seen it before in Manhattan. They've had to call out beekeepers to freaking collect thousands, tens of thousands of bees.
I really couldn't tell you why.
Our hive swarmed, and we know if we could get the queen back, we would save the hive. Yeah. That's once they swarm, they consider that a big attack. And it may not be safe there. I can understand that. But guys, getting back to what we were talking about, stop the verbiage. Avata props are not exploding. Don't think when you go up, your prop is going to explode and you'll be able to make a video like this dude did. It's random. FPV, there's a company called Dow Props.
But
And
it's
I found out
possible,
that
right?
these dowel props are the only props, Herman, that you cannot fly in temperatures lower than about 45 to 40 degrees. I've had
Well,
dowel props explode on me because of the cold.
well, that's what I wanted to ask you. I mean, can't this happen to anybody with any
Yes,
prop, any
yes, it can.
anything?
It just happened to him and he was able to record it. And now he's going viral.
It's going virus.
So don't put a microfracture in your props and try to record it. It don't happen like that.
It's going virus.
He just happened to catch it because it split at the hub and went forward. Props usually explode, they go in all directions. At least mine did when they put it on my FPV bird.
Okay, so you're saying his screws came out and everything.
Yeah, his
They
cracked at the hub.
unscrewed.
His cracked at the hub. And you want to know how I know it cracked at the hub? Because if you look, all the props were intact.
It would be nice to be able to see the drone to see if you can actually if the screws could come out, if they came out cleanly.
Yeah. Now and for those of you who may have thought, if you haven't seen the Ken Heron video, no, you cannot 3D print props. They will shred due to pure G-force of the motor spinning them.
Really?
Hey, Ken Heron, did you see that
Yes,
video?
I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Where they took 3D printed different density props. Everyone says, well, why don't we use 3D print our props? No.
That's another can of worms.
Yeah, yes, exactly. I only use OEM props, seen and heard problems with aftermarket. Bob Casey, it's like that. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
It's like that, Bob Casey, with a lot of with it happens. Even those big industrial drones on now you know what'll make them check their props, Herman?
What?
You know, I got the perfect example. If they ever owned an M30, a Matrice 30 or a Matrice 300, and one of them came crashing to the ground, and you saw $15 to $18 to $20,000. Yeah. If you see $20,000 fall out of the sky,
it's just like if you had when you drive in a car, if you had a standard shift.
Yeah.
Once you change your first clutch, you won't do that again.
Yep, because clutch is expensive. Yeah. Changing our clutches is expensive.
You won't do that again. No, but you're right. But you know what I wanted to ask you, Lawrence? Hydrogen. Could hydrogen be the power source that the drone industry is looking for? What do you think? I mean, they use it to produce petroleum and to send rockets into the sky? You muted over there, Lawrence? Or you?
Oh yeah, I was muted. Sorry.
No, but we know that battery power source, tech, as far as what we issues that we have with batteries, as far as the endurance on batteries, the flight time. We complain about flight time all the time when a new drone comes. What's the flight time? What's the flight time? What's the flight time?
Right.
And the common issues that occur with these lithium polymer the LiPo batteries, with the like I said, the endurance, the fact that they're expensive, truthfully, to purchase. Let's face facts. The more time, the more powerful these batteries are, the more expensive they are.
Mm-hmm.
And maintenance, we've seen a lot of stuff going on with maintenance, with poor usage and how dangerous some of these things can be.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering, like, because I was checking out this article, and talks about using the use of hydrogen for and why drones are looked over, and maybe the missing link to being able to use such a clean hydrogen source. Because you talk about it's more and more about the fact of having to get rid of our carbon emissions and stuff like that. But with hydrogen, they claim that hydrogen, it's funny, when it's burned as a fuel, that it gives off water.
Yes, when
Just one,
hydrogen is burned off
yeah,
completely, it
yeah,
does produce water, clean water at that.
which is why they consider it to be such a clean source of energy. But I'm just curious, because right now they're saying that there's what do you call it? They're competing for $7 billion in federal funding, to help push this clean source of energy. And so I guess with this kind of competition to being pushing with this, that this we like I said, I've seen where the car industry is looking to go battery wise, and
Yeah.
it takes a lot more power to produce for a car, and I see what they're looking to do as far as their battery and stuff like that, and what their plans are for the future. I was
Man, the
watching
man.
a little program on that, but when I think about with the drones, and with this article, and how they were talking about the drones being the source to being able to use this energy, or just being able to use it,
Well,
there's a lot of things that involved in it, because if not done right, it can actually harm our what we call, what cause problems with our weather and areas.
hey,
And
Dan said, "What's up, Herman?"
what's up, Dan? It could cause problems with giving off warm effects, drastic warm effects in sky.
Well,
But
see, there's a catch-22 to this, because everyone, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because there's a catch-22. Everyone's saying, "Oh, eVTOLs, electric power is a great." Here's something none of you people have thought about.
well, I
After
mean,
these batteries are
it
depleted,
hasn't.
hold on. After these batteries are depleted, for all these eVTOLs and these e-cars and these e-trains and e-bikes, there needs to be a way to dispose of them, because you can't
Mhm.
dispose of them in any normal way.
Nope.
And this is why they're saying hydrogen may be a good source also. Now, here's something that you have to consider. Hydrogen is a great source, battery wise, for what our batteries, I can't see myself on camera, hold on. For what our batteries are the shape of, Herman, a
Right.
hydrogen cell could make that battery run for hours.
Right. That's the next thing I
But,
was going to mention,
right,
because the amount of time, energy in that same space with hydrogen, you can get more flight time.
yes.
There's what was that? Listen, we there's this drone that right now, there's a few drones that actually function on this technology. We did a few stories on this, and even back when Tom was with us, on drones that are functioning on this technology, and I'm seeing it more and more now.
Right. We're not
With
playing
some of these,
sound on this video, right? Correct?
um, which
The
which
heaven drones. The hydrogen.
Well, having drone, the hydrogen drone, you could. I mean, it's a video from having drones talking a little bit about this drone, and this is why I wanted to bring this to show you that there is a different way of doing this and getting and sustaining good flight other than with the lithium polymer batteries. And I told you before that this is where the drone companies make their money, selling us these damn batteries. You know, they make a lot of money selling us extra batteries to get more and more flight time. We also talked about, you know, the old tech with the phantom batteries,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that they had much more milliamp hours and stuff like that than some of these batteries now with the new tech. And the fact that if the Mavic 3 had the same power as that battery, that thing would have flew for an hour.
Yeah, that's true. But listen, this is a quick 2-minute video. This is Heaven drone. This is one of the types of drones that people are considering.
Yeah, this
Price
is a nice little thingy here.
price wise and efficiently, as far as efficiency, hydrogen may be the way to
Fly
go.
further, fly longer, and do
Yeah, check
more
this
than
out.
ever before. Introducing Heaven's H2D55, a cutting-edge hydrogen-fueled drone. We're setting a new standard for drones by making downtime a relic of the past. The H2D55 is aerodynamic, lightweight, safe, efficient, and endlessly versatile, empowered by expedited refueling. Featuring 5 times longer flight times and a 7-kilogram payload, the H2D55 allows you to exponentially expand your use cases and redefine previous limitations, creating a new reality beyond anything imaginable. In just 10 minutes, you can enable a 2-hour flight with a low carbon footprint and low cost of ownership. Become a core part of the smart city revolution. Enhance mobility, sustainability, and accessibility. Alleviate natural disasters, answer critical medical needs, and fulfill homeland security concerns with ease. Fly ship to shore, answering all logistics requirements without pause or second thought. Starting with the H100 that carries a max load of 30 kilograms, we developed the ideal solution for immediate supply needs and ground-based robotic integration. Next, we introduced our automated container system, connecting to payloads with 5-centimeter accuracy for automated logistics applications. Once again, we're bringing the future into the present with our hydrogen-powered drones that boast 5 times longer flight times to make the impossible possible. The hydro generation has arrived. Now's the time to overcome barriers and achieve what was once unthinkable.
Is that right?
Well, kudos to Heaven Drones. I'll post a video so you guys. Mar Comet, thanks for this this video here. They put it out 3 months ago. So the question goes: is hydrogen better than these batteries? How much more expensive? Mark White wants to know. Well, actually, Mark White, from what they're saying, the price of the size of your Mavic battery could, if it was filled with hydrogen, could probably fly around for hours in comparison to our LiPo batteries, Li-ion batteries, that need to be charged over an hour to get 30 minutes, 47 minutes, 15 minutes. Do you think they're going to be able to put them in a 250-gram drone?
Well, here's the thing. Right now, you have companies that are bidding for a $7 billion money for research to be able to produce this technology. And this is not the first time we've talked about this. This is like probably like the second or third time we've mentioned this.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's working at doing it. I don't know how long the trickle down would take to get to something like what we do. I don't think that we would probably see that, because of the simple fact is the companies that produce the drones that we fly make a lot of money on us on the batteries that they produce. I don't think it's in their best interest for you to buy a drone that'll fly for 2 hours on one battery.
Yeah, Yeah, if you're not military, what the hell you need a drone that flies 2 hours for? Honestly, and Bob Casey said the same thing. Um, it sounds great, but I really don't have a need to fly around for 2 hours.
You don't, but you still buy 4 batteries.
True.
And when
True.
the drone comes out, like for instance, everyone loves the Air 2S, but since the Mavic 3 and the Mini 3 and the Mini 3 Pro, I bet you complain about the flight time.
True.
I can guarantee you from Monday to Friday, any knock on the Air 2S would be the damn flight time on every stream.
Yeah.
Why? Because the new one's coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But everyone loves the drone.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is true. But getting back to this hydrogen drone, there are advantages and there are disadvantages. The advantages are for the size of it, and they're only talking consumer drones and maybe some delivery drone levels. They're not talking, can you put a hydrogen tank in a car and drive it? Yes, you can. Can you put it in a bus and drive it? Yes. But the problem with hydrogen is transportation. And they said it in the article, transporting hydrogen, it needs to be done delicately. Okay. Now, when you need your battery charged, you're not going to have a hydrogen tank in your house and they fill it up and like they do propane. I don't think it would work like that. Why does the hydrogen canister cost? How do you recharge your hydrogen? These are questions, Gary.
See, this is what they're, like I said, when I mentioned it, there are companies right now that are working for, that are bidding now for this money for
Good morning, Rob.
research on this, to be able to produce this, even from the, as far as, where I had in my notes here, not only on the distribution side of it, but as far as the being able to the use, how it can be used in this, and I don't know, but Heaven Drones has found a way to be able to do it, and they're actually not the only ones. And I believe that when you go and you do the research on some of the drones that have the highest endurance, they're using this type of energy already.
This is true.
How is it going to become more safer for us if it is to be used for us to be able to use?
Right.
That $7 billion, those people who are bidding for that research, only time will tell, as far as distributors and users is concerned, and how this technology will work out. When we'll see it, if we'll see it, I doubt. Like I said, I doubt that very much.
Exactly. Real quick before we get out of here, we have one last story, and this is on the DJI forum. And please don't turn this into verbiage, because I know we try to.
I meant to mention this earlier, but go ahead.
But I don't turn this into verbiage and be like, oh, now DJI drones, this is happening to the Avata. We heard it on those guys. Stop it. I'm going to share this with you so you can see where it came from. This is in a DJI forum. A gentleman had an issue. Let me cut. There's no need to play sound. So
yeah, he lost what was it? Connection to his goggles.
Right. And this is an experienced drone pilot, or he claims to be experienced. And he says, I've owned 4 DJI drones with, and I love and trust these devices, but he brought an Avata, and about 3 minutes into his flight, he lost sync with the goggles. Been there many times. The unit has returned home automatically, hundreds of times with different models, not the Avata. But this time the Avata lost connection, never regained connection, and never returned to home. At the time it lost connection, I was 20 feet above ground near my home, not a place that is accessible to because of us. I guess he lives on a mountainside somewhere. But the point he's making is the Avata drone lost connection and did not go into return to home. And he's contacted the DJI forum here to see if anyone else has experienced it before. Like I said, don't start the verbiage DJI drones are losing connection and not returning home. This is just one person in a world of many where this situation has happened. It's now you have fools. Wow, I've been flying since the Phantom 3 days and maybe lost connection 5-6 times. I will say one of these times was with the DJI FPV. Never seen
Hey, lost connection.
it again.
He
So
lost connection.
he never saw it again. But anyway, I thought we'd bring that story up. Like I said, don't start it as verbiage. Stop. I was at 250 feet straight up. I could yaw and go forward and backward, but could not stop the descent. See, that's
Wow.
crazy.
Whoa.
Is solid state battery a real thing coming? I don't know. Hey, good morning, Rob and Sue over in Australia, feet on the ground.
Feet
Sorry
on the
you got here a
ground.
little late.
I thought he was here earlier. I don't know. Well, maybe I was wrong. But
Most of them, yes, Jim's droning, I would have to agree. Pilot error, most of them I'm pretty sure. I've had my share of drones fall out of the air. I've actually built a drone for someone wanted to film an FPV drone flying along the ground with lights on it while following it from above with the camera drone as it lit up the road. And I built a drone, had it prepped, and 2 weeks before, that shit went down in the water. It went down in the water.
Smacked it up. Well,
Nope,
it's about
it
that time.
drowned. Yes, it
It's
is.
about that time, you know. Yeah, we'll like to
Time for dinner.
Well, yeah, but other than that, I mean, you got anything to say to the nice people in the chat, the people who
Oh,
are
we
working?
appreciate you all. Be safe, fly safer.
Okay, well, like Lawrence said, we appreciate you all coming, even though Lawrence did forget our sponsors on the last one. But nevertheless, we will be back again next week with some new and interesting stories to share with you. And we'd like to thank you all. And like Lawrence said, we appreciate you all for coming and hanging out with us. And with that, we'd like to say a good night, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Hold on. Let me run this real quick, and then we can get out of here.
Those guys.
For drone news and tech talk, tune in on Wednesday nights, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to Wednesday Night with Those Guys.
And we're out of here.
And with that, good night. Now you can go check out what we've said in question form other places.
Good night, everyone.